Number 4. What's going on out there, YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JVS. So I'm back here again for another Infinity War challenge. And this is movie number 4, Thor. Thor came out, I just want to make sure I fact check that, in 2011. And when it came out, one of the things that I thought was really dope was, where did I see that scene at? I don't know where I saw the scene at, but the very first scene that I saw was Chris Hemsworth. And where did they show that scene? I don't know where they showed it at, but he was actually in like this muddy area and like he was trying to get to his hammer, and I thought it was choreographed perfectly, it was totally done well, and I thought he acted it well, especially when he couldn't pick up his hammer, and I was like, I can't wait to see this film, right? And so then I found out the different talents in there. You got Anthony Hopkins that plays the role of Odin, you got Tom Hiddleston plays the role of Loki, you got Natalie Portman, Jane Foster, what's my man, Skarsgård, Stellan Skarsgård, Katie, is her name Kate or is it Katie? Katie Dennings that plays the role of Darcy. I know she was really a good funny talent. And then you had Idris Elba and Ray Stevenson as one of the comrades of this. And I was like, yo, you got so much talent in this. Like, they are gonna like take place completely on Asgard, and it's gonna be really dope. And when the movie opens and you get to see like the world of Asgard, how beautiful it is, and then you get to see the suit that Thor has and the suit that Loki has and what Thor can actually really do. And when you get to the battle scenes with Thor, I was like, this is gonna be lit, right? And so everything about the aesthetic and the looks of the suit is perfect, especially when he had the hammer on. When he had a helmet on, when he was using the hammer. I thought it was like the perfect look for everybody. Like, it felt like this different world, but then the look and the feel of Asgard as itself was amazing. The fact that they added Heimdall as an African-American and Idris Elba, I thought he played that role seriously toned, and that's the reason why I think he's still platformed even more so now than anything else. It's going to be interesting if Heimdall is going to actually be in Infinity War, because he lived through everything. I don't know. Man, Thanos might actually see him as a threat, because Heimdall technically is one of the strongest, period. So let's see where that goes. But as far as Idris's role in this movie, I thought he really did a really good job. I thought that Anthony Hopkins played that dual role very well, that gets, in my opinion, even added more so onto the Hela arc as far as Thor Ragnarok. And I thought that the fact that he had two different sons that he definitely treated differently, but kept two different serious things from both. And I think that that added to their temperament as men later on in their life, unfortunately. But I thought that they did a really good job with Anthony Hopkins in this film. Where things start to go at a slant is when Thor gets banished. Now, he acted as a kid, acted out, and tried to go to war and start a war. He got coasted by his own brother, of course. But when he went to Earth, and I was kind of like, okay, this is how he's going to meet Jane Foster. Jane Foster's going to, you know, really try to help him get back. But it came into this comedic play on stuff that was happening. And everything that happened on Earth, honestly, was kind of trivial in its own right. Like, there's definitely a couple different lines, like, bring me another. Or, like, when he's just going, walking in the middle of the street, everybody's like, what are you doing? And, like, he gets the understanding of the interstellar look of how the atmosphere is, and he starts to educate Jane with that and what it looks like for his perspective versus science and magic. I thought that conversation with them was very well played out. But as far as their romance and as far as their look, it's kind of like she was looking at him like he was beefcake most of the movie, instead of like, okay, this man is legit a god, and what are the ramifications of a god being on Earth, and how can I get him back more so than be with him? You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like, I think that they could have played it a totally different way tonally, as well as like scripted. I think a lot of the script with Darcy specifically, and even with my man, what was my man's name? I forgot the dude's name. Eric. It was like they kept on playing with the fact that Eric's like, I don't believe it, I don't know. And it's like, why do we need any of this? You know what I'm saying? Now, when Loki got there, and so he tried to pick up the hammer, and then he taunted his brother with the fact that, okay, you did this to our dad, he's dead, or whatever, you know. It was kind of like, that was a serious moment. And that actually, the funny thing about this film is that Loki at this point is the best villain on the MCU. And it's like, by the time you get to Avengers, like, all right, I know what this man's about, you know? And I think that it's funny that I would say in phase 1, the least favorite out of all of them, they had the best villain. They had some of the best characters and actors. But unfortunately, the movie didn't service what Thor really could be, more so than what they did with Thor Ragnarok. But as far as the aesthetic and the look and the visuals and the immersion, especially when Thor goes back to Asgard and fights his brother and everything that happens after he leaves Earth, that was dope. It was actually really powerful, really dope, and especially when he broke the bridge with his hammer, like knowing he wouldn't potentially be able to ever go back to the woman that he loved. I thought it was really awesome. I thought they did a really good job with that. It was just the middle muggy Earth part, it just was unnecessary. It was way too unfunny, trying to be funny, I guess. And I mean, the other thing is that he didn't keep his helmet on, which is kind of like me being a stickler from a comic book standpoint. I know other people that say the same exact thing. I was kind of past that. It was most of the Earth stuff that kind of doesn't hold the stand. It doesn't stand the test of time, in my personal opinion. Like, it would, if I looked at it again right now, I'm like, I might go to sleep. Like, it was a couple moments like that in Iron Man 2 that I was like, I legit was about to fall asleep. So I think that they had cut some of the middle grounds with certain things, that it could have been such a better service film. But aesthetically and the visuals, I thought were really good, especially this was on 3D. This was one of the better 3D movies that came out during that time. So if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it maybe a 7, 7.5 out of 10, maybe a 7. I feel like I'm kind of being really generous. Like, if I was really trying to be hypercritical, especially everything that happened on Earth and the way it was acted and the way it was done, it would stand at a 6. But me personally, loving this franchise and loving what they've been doing, I give it no less than a 7 out of 10. I thought it was actually really serviceable, especially going back looking at it visually. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you don't know anything about Stardust, go to Stardust. Go to the description down below, check it out. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this movie, and I want you to record your 30-second. I want you to record a 30-second reaction to it, and make sure you tag at JVS so I can attach this to this video or other videos in the future that I got planned. Okay? Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. On to the first Avenger, Captain America. Peace, guys. Boom.